Hello, everyone. It's Breon Jackson, and we're going to talk about the worst RPGers at your tabletop. We're going to talk about the stat blocker. Now, the stat blocker is a particular type of rules lawyer, in the fact that the stat blocker knows all the stats, all the combat abilities, defensive abilities, and special abilities of all the creatures and NPCs in your game world. Okay. Now, it could be Pathfinder, it could be Dungeons and Dragons, it could be a superhero or sci-fi game. But the minute you mention something familiar, they can automatically spout out all the capabilities of the creature or individual that they're encountering. And that can kind of ruin the magic, especially when you have players that are either brand new or you have other players that want to keep that magic alive of encountering something new without being told what the armor class or the hit points or its defensive abilities are of that particular creature. So the stat blocker, unfortunately, can really block the magic of your game. Okay. Now, on a good note, they can be a wealth of knowledge. You won't have to have a bestiary available because the stat blocker knows all the stats, and you want them on your side when it comes to things like that. But at some point, you really want to surprise them. So I have two techniques that I use against the stat blocker. The one is I'll name the creature: troll, hobgoblin, ogre, dragon, demon, but I won't use the stat block for that particular creature. I'll pick something else. Okay, I'll make the hobgoblin chieftain use the ogre stat block. Hey, he's a big guy. He's been fighting for a long time, and he's that tough. And this can confound the stat blocker. Now, unfortunately, the stat blocker's feelings may get hurt because they may assume one thing and it may be something else. Hey, I thought he only had 13 hit points. I did 45 hit points of damage. He's still standing. I don't understand why. Okay, let him suffer. Okay, you're the game master. You're going to have to deal with it. The other unique thing you can do against the stat blocker is to not name the creature that they're encountering, even though they may assume it's something in particular. I use the example of the television show The Walking Dead. In the television show, they never use the word zombie. They call them biters and walkers. They're shambling around, and you can absolutely describe something that they're encountering. The players actually encounter zombies, but you never ever say the word zombie. You just describe their decaying bodies and they're shambling towards you, and they're here to try to eat your brains, and the players fight them off, and the stat blocker is going to start, well, okay, they're probably zombies, but maybe they're not. And so you can have people make, in your game, NPCs make assumptions about one type of creature, but really it's another. For example, a small village can be terrorized by a dragon, and everybody and their mom is calling this thing a dragon. But maybe it's a wyvern, okay? Maybe it's a manticore. It, they're calling it a dragon. The stat blocker's like, well, we know how to fight a dragon. But when they actually see the creature, it may be something else entirely. So the assumption that players may know what the creature is, you can take that away from them and make it something surprising. Okay, it does, that dragon may be a basilisk, and they're going into it. The stat blockers going into it with an assumption as to what kind of creature it is, and be surprised when you know what that stat block is and they cannot guess it. Someone may think that they're fighting a troll, and the stat blocker goes, well, I know the stats of a troll, but really it's not a troll, it's just a very ugly ogre. All right? So again, the stat blocker can really take away the magic of your game. They don't necessarily slow your game down, but they can take away the magic when they have a feeling that they know that they are superior or inferior to an encounter that you're describing. Knowing the hit points of a creature is kind of detrimental. You want to be able to have an encounter that has a lot of magic to it. When you're watching the movie The Lord of the Rings, there aren't no one has their hit points and character levels attached to their chest. No one knows the hit dice of the monsters that are in that movie. Okay, it's all magic, and you want to be transported away mentally. And so, calming the stat blocker down and having them be your friend in terms of getting information for your game and allowing the dice rolling to happen would be really good. Get the stat blocker to be your friend, but really shut them down when it comes to especially brand new players or veteran players that really don't want to know that information by using those two techniques. Use the same stat block of the creature and change the name, or have everyone call the creature one thing and just use a completely different creature. All right. Those are my two techniques, and thank you very much.